Welcome to episode 2 of Kelly Jack's Devil Towers Fixit playthrough from 1969 on the Devil's Tower map. Towers, I should say. There's multiple Devil's Towers type parks in the game. Map got its name from those towers, of course. It was the first map that I played on that those towers appeared in, too, so it was kind of interesting. And I've already found my first step to cleaning up the system. Out in the middle of this desert plain, I have, for a long time, since 1963, had a tram barn and 3 segments of tram rail that run me about $140 a month. So it's time to get rid of that. Grab the old destroy tool and get rid of it. I did that because I hadn't figured out the lists yet. And the lists to see when a item is available are right there in your lists. So this is your lists. You open it up and then it's list of all vehicles. And then there's your vehicle list, which is your vehicles that you have dispatched. So like these here are the ones I've got out and running. It shows the consist or convoy that's running. So it'll show the individual buses, the individual trains, individual trucks if I have trucks going. I don't at the moment. And that's part of what we're going to be doing is eliminating some things, creating some truck routes that carry goods over to a consolidation station, and building a main line that we run things along. It's an idea. It's an idea. So that was our first step. What can I do next? I mean, this is going to be tough. Um, do I take on? And we'll unpause the game, start running it because it's official. I'm doing things. So next month I won't have it. It'll be the first month I won't. First year in a while I ain't losing $1,680. May not seem much considering that my annual, all told, has been 1.5 to 1.75 million, as high as 1.9 million in operating profit. So you know, cash flow pretty close to it. I hadn't been spending much money. I think the previous year was the last year I had spent a bunch of money building things. You can see that anytime it's below, I did a little bit of building, and the more gap, the more building I did. Nothing like 1949, nothing like the early days when it was just crazy. Unfortunately, I can't see back further than 12 years. Well, I mean 22 years, 22 years. So I'm used to 12. They changed it a while back, and I'm still not used to that. Being able to see a bigger chunk. The Mallowfield knot is calling me, and getting this connected up, the furniture and the planks and all that connected up is kind of tempting as well. But first, in order to do that, I'm going to need some changes made. And I did go through and labeled a bunch of the barns and label depots. I haven't gotten them all yet labeled. I know there's a couple more out here that I haven't tagged out on. There's a bus barn right there. We're going to call that let's see here. That's under special construction tools, signs, place marker. And we can do him here, and he's going to be I'm putting the company name in case I decide to take and put an extra company in as a penalty to teach me a lesson. Yes, I am tempted to unleash an AI on myself. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have a way to really tone down the AI aggression at this point in the game. So I'm kind of leery of that. Butts barf? No, butts barn. Got everything set up, kind of trying to figure out where do I want to do it? How do I want to do it? Do I really need to be double tracked the whole distance right here? And it might be nice to pull this back out, avoid the climb, and do a spin around and do a different angle on our logging yard. I got my second pot of coffee going with me. I'm a happy camper. Got creamer for the coffee, so it's even better yet, in my opinion. And we need to just keep moving along. Unfortunately, I don't think there is a way. Yeah, you're up on this plane the whole time anyway. So I do have to come back down. There's a way around, but it's way over and then down. And we try to avoid duck ponds. We try to be eco friendly. Not because it's a thing I want to do, it's because, frankly, it's good business practice. Being that way, being unfriendly to the ecology is slitting your own throat in the long run. All right. So looking this guy over and trying to decide where do I want to stop him from keep doing this. One, it would let me shorten this bridge, get another little savings. Shorter bridges, shorter distances of higher cost road maintenance. And those bridges are mine. If you take a peek at them, click on that. I'm the guy paying for it. So it ain't cheap. A road bridge, just so you know, runs me, well, that's the concrete road bridge, $70 a month per segment. And the footings, or the foots, the bridge heads, whatever you want to call them, they cost money as well. So doesn't tell you, but it does tell you that, I've got a higher speed on that section of road. Ooh. I have also been thinking about, do I really want to do this up and down? Should I get rid of it first? Because that's money. If I was to keep one, it would be the high road, mainly because it is straighter in reality than the other one. And we're going to fix a section right here. This jog is just a bit too much. Yeah, let's go ahead and fix that. And then below these two sections, cuts down the number of curves, slows it down a little bit. Unfortunately, we still have a tight curve right there, but we can fix that as well, it looks like. Yep, there we go. My next question to ask myself is, do I want to take and start thinking about extending out for longer trains? Because I can put longer trains on that. Those engines can pull quite a bit of weight. So to do that, first thing I've got to do is my feeder line in between. I bring my trains onto this right there is going to need to be extended out, and it should have come up here to where this junction is, but we're going to move this junction up to about here. I'm actually going to build this as a totally separate segment from the rest on a lower speed using the lower speed line because it's not a through line, at least not initially. And it might become one down the road. Also could probably take and straighten up this mess. Get rid of this back and forth near horseshoe effect. So by making the connection there, do a quick blast out of that section. Oops. Right there. Now we can extend these and make these platforms a little bit longer by two positions. And that actually sounds like a good idea to do as I move my keys out of the way so that they don't keep rattling every time I turn around. Do another tie-in right about there. Now I got some doubled up power lines. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up too. Start saving a little bit of money every spot I can. I've also got a really weird layout here. Let's go ahead and grab in special construction our power lines. Just do this guy this way. There he goes. Now we can come in and take out power lines right there and right there, which will save us some money because that's a lot less lineage run. And yes, I am aware I could have saved some more by coming over this way straight for my connector here, but I still then have to come back down to here to take and get over to service the yard here because this was a real mess to take and figure out how to get into with that layout. And down the road, we're going to have a lot of power line or utility relocations, things like that going on. Next up, oh, who knows what's next up? Only set a speed record, almost 100 clicks an hour. Nice. And it's time to come down to here. And over here, we're going to close out these two windows. Right about there's a good spot. And now with this guy into this line, I can start doing some getting rid of stuff. Do a tie-in there. We can always extend the line out back for that. Let's go ahead and smooth some terrain so that we can see the tracks better. Put in our signal so that if one train's coming in or out, they can get to their spot and do their crossover. And then same back here. Oops, really want to do it there. Get rid of that intermediary signal. should have gone straight ahead. There. Forgot I've got to do the head of the line when I'm doing it that way. That's because they're both still looking for that old route. Now they're finding the new routing that lets them bypass and have sidings that they pass on, passing sidings. Didn't get rid of my bridge, but I did get rid of some rail sections, smoothed that out, and got this squared away. Now this is two different logging lines on this, two different lines, so they're automatically looking for that. Down the road, the goal is to reduce the line count as well so that I can have lines available. And that's something else I'll be needing to do. But we've gotten our first steps taken. Get a little bit more cleanup. And the other nice thing is now I can shorten that bridge. And that one space may not seem like much, but again, $70 a month builds up. That's 840 bucks a year just per tile. And that, you know, every bridge I can shorten, every bridge I can take out will help. And that's part of what this Fixit is one, cleaning up the lines a little bit, making these spur lines actually function like a regular real spur line would. Now I will have to put in a temporary depot to take and do an extension on these guys rather than sending them all the way back to one of the nearest depots. But then again, I might take and let's dispatch one back to one of the old ones. We've got a road vehicle, set a speed record at 65 clicks. And with these first few tentative steps, I'm hoping down the road to build this guy up, because another place this Planker Perry's can go to now is he can now distribute to Homely Chatel, which is the furniture factory. So I'm going to need to increase the amount of wood coming in, which would mean another intermediary line along here siding so that I can have 3 sidings passing, or smooth it out so I'm doing less up and downs. If I go back to the full on, we're going to have twin rails. Right now, I don't see a reason to take and do that. It's slowing it down a little bit, but better a little bit of slowdown and a little bit of savings. I think that the savings will be more than the slowdown. We will check and see by doing line list comparisons. That's an idea. And we can figure out which lists we need right here in our station windows. All right, so if we go to connections, and we're just going to click on both of these guys to open them up on the little white arrow. Go to chart and profit. And if we start to see a huge hit, now those spike months are months where we get more than one trip, obviously. So maybe we got 3 trips on those months. So now it's going to come down to which months are going to do us better. September was the good month. We're into November already. Watching how this goes. If it's downhill a lot, then I'll reconsider putting back in that second line. Or at least adding a third siding in between. I don't really want to have quite that much on something that's not really taken off yet. and come back to that in a minute. The other side, the output side, we're going to need a new station to go to. I'm just trying to see where that nearest. The brown lines are the slower, older wooden sleepers inlaid in sand. Top speed 55 kilometers an hour. I kind of use those as my connectors for dispatch and such. I didn't have signals on them, which is kind of foolish because if I have one try to go down those lines, out of the blue, it will mess with the other train that's on the main line that it's headed for. So those are things to consider. Cleaning up and clearing out. And then, of course, there's this mess. I'm still debating in my head whether to go with a yard setup, a siding yard, or whether to do maintain the terminal and just clean it up. Generally, most of the time I clean it up. I've done the siding terminal a couple times now. I've liked it, but it does seem to slow things down and it does cause a lot of jam ups. The way I was doing it, I may have to come up with a different methodology, like a row where I come in through the back. But that would then require moving those passenger stations over there. Decisions. This would be more of a siding approach where you've got throughput, but it's something for down the road. If I do it, I'm going to put the sidings over here. I might go to this side this time, just because both of these lines tend to take and function in different directions. This guy, though, takes off this way. Before going off towards Ashlock to finish out his run. Watching the big climb out of the Indy Wildcatting yard. Let's go ahead and ride along with this train for just a few minutes as I close out the video. We've cleaned up one line. Maybe. We'll have to see if this is going to work. It's the first steps, baby steps. Each one is going to be harder and harder. I'm Kelly Jack. This is How Not to Game. And trust me, I am the guy who will show you how not to game by my mistakes. And we're going to make a lot playing Simitrans on my Devil's Tower maps, picking up at the 1969 point to try to clean up a system design that's chaotic as all get out. Have a better day than I'm having.